Hey there. This is Master of Orion 3, a video about how to teach people to play this game, or an attempt to teach people to play this game. So, basically, this game is extremely complicated, and there is a lot to go into about every single option of every single facet of this game. And it would probably take an entire day worth of videos to explain everything in intricate detail. So I'm going to try to be brief and yet concise about everything that you need to know in order to just play the game and in order to understand the basics. So we're going to start with the basics, and I'll try not to go into too much boring detail, but to be honest, it's going to be difficult because this game has a lot of boring details. But it's fun to play. This is a very mentally stimulating game, and I enjoy playing it. And I know a lot of people don't like this game. And to those people, I say you're just not smart enough to play this game. But you can be if you watch this video and learn. So anyway, I always play this game on the hardest level because anything less is too easy for me, personally. Now, the choice of your race is not too important. Some races have certain abilities that other races can't have. Like, for example, Cylons have original creativity, and I think they are the only ones that can get that. I think. Might be others. But pretty much I think they are the only ones. And like some races can only get the highest level of cunning, like humans, for example, have the highest level of cunning, and most other races can't. So those are the differences between races that are basically, they're attributes. Some races have attributes that others don't. So I'm going to show you how I do this, how I set up to play on the impossible difficulty. And it's less important if you're playing it on normal or easier difficulties. But I have to set up a certain way in order to be able to beat the impossible. There could be other methods, but this is my method. So you have to customize your race. I always choose Evon, and I'll explain why. Now, I could probably choose some others, but Evon has the attributes that I need for my setup to beat the game on impossible. All right, now bioharvesting and mining. These are two things that really aren't important. They really aren't. Not in the end game. In the end game, you'll be producing so much food and minerals that it's pointless to put any points into these. And you'll see that with my government choice and these settings, I have like the worst bioharvesting and mineral possible, and yet I still win. I'll show you. You develop technologies in bioharvesting and mining, so much so, like I said, you have way more food and minerals than you will ever need. So there's no point in putting points into these at all. Or I take points away and add it to other abilities. Manufacturing, you can mitigate this by building more industry territories, DEAs, like they call them. So I usually just leave it on average, because putting it down to poor is, well, I mean, -4 to manufacturing efficiency, -1 to the industry value per population point, and decreases the craftsmanship generated from the industry by 10%. That's money. So that is actually a significant decrease from average. So that's why I don't lower it. Research is different from, where's it at? From creativity. Research is just research points that go into research. And I always put it at the max, so that way I can get more. You need a high amount of research, as much as you can, to compete with the other factions on impossible. Due to the on impossible difficulty, the AI factions get huge bonuses to their research. I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's okay. Trust me. Even if they have way better technology than you, you can still win, and I'll show you how. But I put it on the maximum superior just so that I don't fall too far behind. Because if you fall behind too much, you will get stomped. Trading, I don't really rely on trading, but it's good to get more out of your trade deals than not. And it only costs 10 points for me to get it up to the max. Environmental, superior, always. Let's see, reduces the pollution by 40% and decreases the cost of terraforming by 30%. Now this is huge. I got to tell you, pollution rates in this game are devastating. If you were to choose poor, you have more pollution than even on average. So yeah, pollution is devastating to your economy. I mean, it is horrible. So you want this to be max, or as high as possible, because not every race can get superior environmental, but Yvonne can. Accuracy, reflexes, and toughness are all nothing but ground combat stats. Now, we will do ground combat even on the impossible difficulty, but these stats are not that important in the grand scheme. So I drop them all down to poor and add those points somewhere else. I mean, ultimately, you'll get battloids. So, you just drop an overwhelming number of troops on the planet, and you're bound to win eventually, just based on attrition. I mean, sometimes you don't win the initial the initial invasion. I mean, you'll still eventually win. You just keep pushing at it. Keep choosing different tactics until you get one that works, and then you make progress on a planet. I don't lose that often, even with all these attributes dropped to the max, or dropped to the least amount. I still win ground combats relatively, most of the time. And if I don't, then I just drop more troops and overwhelm them. Diplomacy. Here's this one I want to raise up to good. Now, why is diplomacy important? Well, on lower difficulties, diplomacy is really not that important. But on impossible difficulty, it's a lot more important. The reason is that, if you read this here, modifies the reactions to your race. Right. So, the more they like you, the less they attack you. Now, with my setup here, I can't get superior, but I can get good, which slightly improves other races' attitudes towards you by modifying their initial reactions to your race. So, It's their initial reaction whenever they talk to you, I guess. I think. I'm not entirely sure on all that, but it seems to affect your interactions with races throughout the entire game, not just when they initially meet you. I think it's the initial when it says the initial reaction. I think it means to every single contact they have with you, whether whether it's on their borders, on your borders, or in in diplomatic communications. I think it's a random roll each time. But the higher this is, the less chance that other factions will mess with you, even if they overpower you. I mean, eventually they will look down on you, depending, the weak. If they get so far ahead, of you, they will eventually ignore you like a bug and just walk in and just do whatever they want into your territory. But for a good amount of part of the game, they will ignore you if your diplomacy is good with them. They might amass huge amounts of ships on your border, but they won't come into your border unless you've irritated them somehow. If you've caused any angst with them in some way, they will generally ignore you until they decide it's time to kill you. But we're going to do that to them. Government types. They have their strengths and weaknesses. Collectivists cost 40 points. I mean, that's obviously it's very beneficial to be a collectivist, but for what we're doing, we don't need that. I always choose abolitionist, and there's despotism, monarchy, oligarchy, and constitutional monarchy. I'll explain my choice once I get to the empire screen, but just to tell you right now, I always choose despotism, and I'll explain that better when I get to the empire screen. Starting member of the Orion Senate, completely unimportant to us at my level. For what I'm doing, I don't need to be a member of the Orion Senate, and I don't care if I am. If I do, well, just more trade treaties for me. If I don't, that means I don't have to deal with other races hardly at all, just the ones that are close to me. So I just leave it on that because I don't need to spend points. Citizenship, loyalty. Unrest is another factor in this equation that sucks. So you want to have your people be as loyal as possible so that you do not deal with unrest. Although there's ways to mitigate unrest and, pulling the levers here and there to make people happy or unhappy. But it's relatively easy to manage your unrest. But the other thing, too, about the loyalty, it doesn't say it here, but if your people are unhappy, it's easier for spies to get in and do damage. So that's another reason why I prefer to have loyal citizens, because enemy spies can do devastating damage to you. So I try to prevent that as much as possible. Rich, I always choose rich. You need it to have to have a head start on the impossible difficulty. On lower difficulties, you can get away with abundant, even poor, really. Like I said, I mean, if you remember what I said about bioharvesting and mining being hardly important. On lower difficulties, it's even less important. So, but I do want it to be rich on the impossible difficulty because I need that extra boost in the early game. Planet diversity. I can't remember what this does exactly. I think it has to do with race. Your race. I think I usually don't care about this because I don't really know what it means. I'm sure somebody does, but I never really cared or bothered. I'm sure more diverse is helpful. Sets the biodiversity level on your initial starting planet to diverse. But what does that mean? I honestly, I don't know. Biodiversity could mean how many points of food can be produced. I don't know. Or it might mean how well you get along with another race occupying the same planet. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. But what I do know is I don't care about it. I just leave it at the heterogeneous because I don't really know what it does, and it never matters to me. Cunning. Cunning has to do with your spies. Adds plus. Yvonne starts at dangerous, and that's what we want. We want the best spies and spy protection as possible. Creativity, completely unimportant to victory. It really is. You don't really do it. Like I always go with imitative because, well, there's only a certain few technologies that I really need in order to win the game, in order to get ahead and conquer my enemies. And once I get those few certain technologies, a lot of the other technologies don't matter. So I choose imitative. Gives me a 66% chance of knowing any particular technology for all races. So I always get by on imitative. So, and I also steal most of the technologies I get. So that's where the cunningness comes in. Special attributes. So now I got 50 points left. I put these 50 points here. And Terran background, empathetic, tolerant, and fantastic traders. And Terran background gives me a 20% chance to discover Terran X technologies, which is good because believe me, sometimes you can waste a lot of ships trying to find something. So that 20% bonus really helps you to get an edge, especially early in the game, if you get lucky and find one. And it's a good way, searching for Terran technology is a good way to get rid of your obsolete ships. You know, I pull obsolete ships back into the reserves, and then I only use my newer ships, and then once I have nothing but the crappy ships left, I just send them out to look for Terran technology, and then forget about them. Empathic, that's also increases your diplomacy abilities. I already explained why we need that. It prevents them from attacking you, which is important in the impossible difficulty. You want them to not attack you for as long as possible to build up. Fantastic traders, 15% bonus to trade agreements. I'm not sure if it's only trade agreements, or it might affect research agreements as well. I'm not sure. If it does, no big deal. Natural engineers, too expensive. I don't want it. Unless I have a race that is completely focused on production, there's no point in getting that. Because you spend 30 points of your picks on that, and you only get +1. So it's really negligible, not even worth it. And as you can see, I'm down to 0 points. I've done this setup many times. In fact, I've tweaked these many times over the year, playing this game many times, until I got it just perfect. So now we are ready to confirm. Now I'm going to go over this. This is the initial setup for your game. Random event generator. The random events in this game are, well, let's say good events are not all that noticeable, but bad events are. So I set the frequency to rare because I don't really want to deal with negative ones. So the less often they happen, the better. And the good events are meh. So I don't really care. Number of players, 16 is the max. You can set it however you want. I always do it at 16 because I love a big grand battle royale. I like having lots of opponents. And also, the more opponents means that they'll fight each other, and it slows down their progress, and they don't come pick on you. Minutes per game turn. This is a pointless option. You just always leave it unlimited. It affects the AI too, I think. I mean, if you have a limited time, like if you set it at 20 minutes, well, when you're into micromanaging late in the game, you might spend 20 minutes or more, going through all your planets, changing, tweaking, building new ships, all that. It could take more than 20 minutes on a turn. And I think that setting is really for multiplayer, just so that people don't lag the game. So leave unlimited. Minutes per space combat. 10 is the maximum, and that's no matter what. So I think that, again, that's probably just to limit multiplayer games. Game difficulty, impossible. Easy, medium, hard, impossible. Ding. It's the only way to play. Galaxy type. I've tried different ones. I find that huge is too big. I mean, the Galaxy is massively huge if you play it on the huge. Large is still pretty big. And unfortunately, there's nothing in between large and medium, because I would actually prefer a medium-large Galaxy. So I still think large is a little too big for 16 factions, but medium is definitely too small. So I just go with large, and I do a cluster, because the cluster is just basically an elliptical ball of stars. I mean, that's just a preference, If you prefer the Milky Way with arms, you can choose the other setting. Star lanes. I really haven't noticed a whole lot of difference in the star lane settings with random generation. I don't really notice a lot of difference, to be honest. I'm not sure what this does. I only know what I think it does. Shorter star lanes, mini. So that's what I always pick. I believe it makes more connections to planets that are closer to other planets, so that there's not as many bottlenecks. Bottlenecks would be a lot more helpful to me playing on the impossible level, so that way you don't have to protect as many entrances into your area. But I've never noticed a difference between short, long, medium, or mini, or few. To be honest, I've never, all the times I've restarted games, I've never noticed a real difference. But I still choose the one that I prefer. Maybe it makes a difference, maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure. Specials. Specials are just different effects on different planets. It's a number of different things. A whole slew of things. Splinter colonies. What else? Pollution. There's some are negative, some are positive. Some give like temporary boost to research. Things like that. I mean, the more there are, it makes the planets more interesting, I think. The fewer there are, well, the planets get a little more boring, It's just like it adds more randomness to the world, to the galaxy, I think. So I choose more specials. It could also mean planet richness. I'm not entirely certain that mineral richness is one of the things that this affects. I'm not sure. I think mineral richness is just random no matter what, and I don't think specials are that, but I'm not 100% sure. It's just what I'm guessing based on what I've seen. Combat's allowed per turn. Again, if you're playing with a lot of computer opponents, you want it unlimited, because otherwise, what's the point? You know, I mean, you put a restriction on how many combats somebody can be in a turn. That just, why? You know, doesn't make sense. It's probably for multiplayer limitations. Victory conditions. Well, these are on by default. But I turned them off because I want the game to last longer. Now, being elected to the Orion Senate, it's actually not hard to do, to be honest. It's actually pretty easy to become elected to be the leader of the Orion Senate, and if that happens, game's over, and you might not have done much. So I always turn this option off, because if I am elected to be the leader of the Orion Senate, I want to exert my power. I want a chance to have fun with it, you know? So I turn that off. That way I can still play the game while being the leader of the Orion Senate. Discover all 5 X's. Well, this is another winning condition that can be easy. It does rely on luck. I have played games where I found 5 X's relatively early in the game, and then the game's over. It doesn't make much sense, because the X's are all technological benefits to your faction. And what's the point of even getting them if it ends the game, right? You want to be able to actually take advantage of using them to defeat your enemies. So I turn that off also. The only way to win is to conquer all enemies. Now this right here, this auto run to turn, I have to poke at some people for this. I've seen a lot of people make the complaint like, oh, the game plays itself. It's dumb. I hate it. It's boring. Well, this is off by default, you morons. If you do this, it's because you did it. If you turned on the auto run to a certain time, it's your own fault. Okay, you're the dummy that made the game easy. So you can do this. You can set it to like 1,000, I think. I'm not sure what the limit is. Let's check and see. I can set it to 9,999 turns, and in that amount of time, someone's going to take over the whole galaxy. And, well, all I get to do is watch. So this is actually, I mean, if you want to mess around with it, sure, go for it. But if you're playing a serious game, you don't want to do that. If you like this game, you're doing it because you like to micromanage. You love being in control. So turning on the auto run is just stupid. Don't do it. Now, this is my setup for Impossible. The race, all the settings, difficulty, start, all this stuff here. Nothing else to be said about this until we get into the meat of the game. So now, start game. Now, the other thing about this game is that sometimes you start with really crappy planets. Or only a few, like this. This is actually, I mean, it's very rich but small. That's a good one. That's a good starting planet. Actually, all 4 of these are good, decent starting planets. But there's only 4 of them. You can have up to 8 planets in a system. Now, when I'm playing on Impossible level, I want as many good planets as I can in my starting system. So this is a setup that I would reject. Now, the neat thing about Master of Orion 3 is you can start a new game and press quick play, and it automatically goes through and starts a new game with all your previous settings. The faction, all your faction, your race choices, everything. It's just instant boom. Like, watch this. New game, confirm, quick game. Boom, just like that. It's awesome. It's like that's what it was made for. Made for people who don't like their starting, what they started with. Now, this is an automatic rejection for me because I hate small planets. I'm not going to do a whole lot of this. I'll probably cut this part out of the video because I actually have a couple of good starting positions already that I'm going to use just to showcase the gameplay. So, but if you want a good start, that's what you do. You restart over and over using quick play until you get something that you are happy with. Now, I have done this a lot, and I have a couple of good starts that I have saved on turn 1. So I'm going to use one of them for this. Load the game. I actually have 2 of them. And probably this one is a good start, but it's more challenging, and this one is a good start and a lot easier. I think I'll go with the more challenging one for this video. And it also lets me show off a couple different things that I need to explain. Okay, so here is the galaxy. Now, this is the cluster, what the cluster looks like. Now, I think a lot of people don't realize this, but you can actually rotate the galaxy. On the keyboard, it's the number pad. Watch this. See that? You can actually see what your galaxy looks like. And it doesn't, and unlike Stellaris, it doesn't snap back to the original position. What if you want, you can set it however you want, whatever angle you want, and it will stay that way for the entire game. And you can rotate it both the other ways too. You can rotate it around like so. It appears to be centered on your star system, or maybe on wherever or maybe centered on the camera. I think it's centered on the yeah, it's just centered on your camera position. But yeah, for most of the game, we'll just be zoomed in to right where we are. But you can mess around with this all you want. Change how the entire thing looks completely. Now let's see here. I'm gonna rotate this around so that I have the where's the other one? There's up, but there's not down. I guess can only get it to go one way. Oh no. Oh well. I don't know. I guess the page down doesn't change the other direction for some reason. It only goes one way. Oh well. So, trying to remember how this goes. Yeah, if you right click, you can and drag the mouse. You can also change the view that way. But yeah. So. This is, these aren't like the most ideal planets. There is one kind of a small planet, but the reason why I like this start is because some of the nearby systems also have some good planets that I can, if I, get to colonize them quickly. If you click on the star here, there's an option to rename your system. So we're going to do that. And it renames all the planets. So now whenever you start a new game, there's actually some things that you need to do before you do your first turn. Well, renaming the system is one. You can, I think, no, I don't think you can rename the planets. I don't remember if I've ever tried. Maybe not. So anyway, technology. First, I go to my technology screen. Only to, I guess I can't change these until I click till I go to the first turn. Well, I'll have to come back to this on the next turn. Finances. Before we do finances, we go to Empire. We want to choose our government type. Now, it randomly gives you one of these. Luckily, I started off with despotism right off the bat, so I don't have to change it. But if you did start with one of these other ones, and you wanted to switch it to another one, it affects some different things. One major effect is the oppressimeter. Now, the oppressimeter is very important for repelling enemy spies. If your oppressimeter is low, which some government types require you to keep it low, you are very susceptible to spies. And that's why I prefer playing with despotism, because it allows me to choose a high oppression compared to others. Like if I go to constitutional monarchy, it didn't. I think I have to click change for it to take effect. I don't want to do that though, because it can affect my economy for a few turns. So I'll leave it on despotism. But just take my word for it that other government types, these arrows right here show you the range in which that government type is comfortable with. And so, for example, if you chose a representative democracy, these bars would be all the way down here, and this would only be the safe level for your oppression. And if you were to go above it, like if I were to go here, and this was like the top notch for representatives, your people would have unrest. That's their reaction to oppression. But as a despot, you can oppress your people. Usually I don't go that high. I'll go here or here, because there's some technologies you can get later on, and also you can build things on your planets that help to keep unrest down, which will allow you to push it all the way to the max without any rebellions happening. So, but at the start of the game, I usually just have I'll leave it there. Regional zoning. I usually don't bother with this because I micromanage my planets. But if I happen to forget to set up a new planet that I just conquered or colonized, I have it set on balanced. So that way it gets built remotely similar to what I would do myself. So, labor. This doesn't have... You don't really see this very often, actually. Forced labor is only if the planet has that as a special. So, and you hardly ever find a planet that has forced labor units as a special. So, I mean, you can't enslave another race in this game. So, like, if you take over someone's planet, they don't become your forced labor. They are just your new citizens. That's all. It's only a special. If I come across one, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But otherwise, it's not even worth it, to be honest. But I mean, I'll leave it on in case I do come across a forced labor special, so I can take advantage of it. But otherwise, it can be ignored. Colonization, I leave it off because I like to manually do my own colonization and setups. Oh, finance. Yes, financing. Peace through strength. That's one that I usually stick with through most of the game. This setting allows the AI to spend up to 20% of the Empire's income on the military. Further spending will cause unrest. So, I mean, I do want my ships to be built in a timely manner, so I don't want to leave it on peace and prosperity. Although, a lot of things to do with the economy are relative, so, I mean, peace and prosperity or peace through strength, yeah, you know, you could use either one and get away with it. General budgetary spending policy. This is kind of important. If you choose spending, then your economic your money will be split up amongst these different settings here, and all of it will be spent. So, like for example, up here, this is your money right here. It says AV, but it's actually AU, astronomical units. I think is what that means. It's basically your money. So right here it says I make 30 a turn. If I choose spending, the AI will spend all of that every turn on these things that I have set here. If I put these at if I put all of these at 0, then it won't spend anything. It'll spend, you know, proportionally what you set it on. It'll spend that. And if it can't spend all of it, it will just increase your money, your bank account. So, but it will try to always spend all of your money. It'll, yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, but for the impossible setup, I keep things low at the start. It's more of a percentage thing here. I mean, this says that I'm spending 10 units, but it's more of a percentage. You know, like a parts per million type of thing, you know. So I always put 1 on unrest. I put 10 on research and military. And then I boost my grants to planets to like 3 or 4 times what I spend on research and military. So like 40, I guess. 41. Around there. Now, this leaves me with a lot of money left over, and that's all right. This, I'm not sure if this information is anywhere in the game, but you do gain interest on your bank account. The more money you have here, the more extra money you get in interest every turn. So, I always choose savings. With a savings policy, the Empire will try to save money to build up a surplus. Now, and you gain interest on that surplus, although I'm pretty sure I think I read somewhere on some technology somewhere that some technology affected how much interest you collect on your bank, on your savings. I think it's been a while. It's been a while since I played. I might be in the ledger. It might actually be in here. Tax revenue, gifts from planets, scrapped items, FLU productions, that's forced labor units, tribute war reparations, military maintenance, spy maintenance, additional research grants to planets, tribute, product. Oh, there it is. Interest paid on Imperial Treasury debt. Oh, debt. Okay. I read that's... Perhaps I'm wrong about that. Perhaps the interest is only accounted for if you go into debt. I never go into debt, so I guess I've never had to experience that. But I thought I'm pretty sure I read on some technology somewhere that you gain extra interest on your bank account if you have a certain technology, I think. been a while since I've seen it. I haven't played this game in probably a few years, so I've been messing around playing it for the last few days just to refresh my memory on it so I can make a decent instructional video on how to play this game. As you can see, there's so much detail you could go into this. The videos could be hours long. The way I figure it, if this is your kind of game, you're fine with watching a long, boring video about it. So, and if you're not, you're not. The tax levels. Now, the starting tax levels is affected by your government choice. So, but I find that the perfect tax percentages to be that 5% system, 11% empire. Not too much, not too little. I have gone higher than this before, but you get a feel for how much tax you can have based on the unrest you encounter. So if you raise your tax up by like 1% or something, and then you start seeing some people, you start seeing a few planets starting to generate a little unrest here and there, you can lower this by like 1%, and that usually fixes it. But I usually set it at 5% system and 11% empire, and I generally don't change it. You can adjust the tax rates on each individual planet as well. So if an individual planet is starting to become unhappy, you can go to that specific planet and change the individual planet tax rate. Just knock it down 1% or 2%, and that usually takes care of the unrest. The planetary, the economic planet AI generally raises and lowers each individual's planet taxes for you based on needs. So, but you can alter it yourself. From what I understand of the planet AI, if you make changes to something, to like the build orders, to taxes or whatever, the planetary economy AI will halt its changing of it will stop controlling it will stop control of that planet's economy for 10 turns, and then it takes back over. So if you have a specific thing you want to do for a certain planet, certain build queue or whatever, you can go and you set that up, and the economy, the AI won't mess with it for 10 turns. So it gives it time to build the things that you wanted, or spend a certain amount of money for different things, for at least that time period. All right, so, and this is the ledger. Just shows you, all your expenses, money coming in, where it's going. I usually don't bother looking at that because I can see where everything is myself when I micromanage. All right, so that's the finances. I'll come back to technology on the next turn. Went through development plans. Ugh. I hate this screen. I never use it. I have tried it before, but to be honest, I like micromanaging my planets, so I don't use development plans because I just manage everything myself. Personnel. Oh yeah, here we go. Personnel. These are your spies. Now, I'll tell you straight up, none of these are worth getting except for science. They just aren't. I mean, you rarely get your spies into a territory, into a faction to begin with. And if you have, so build only scientific spies. The other spies are just not really worth it. Science spies will defend against any other spy. You don't have to have a specific spy type to protect against another specific spy type. You just need to have spies in your list. Right now, I hope we don't have any. We have to train them up. Now, these spies are very slow to train. 1 every 6 turns. And so, like, every 10 to 20 turns or so, you click on the personnel tab and tell it to train a few more spies. I hate that you can't just tell it to auto-train spies forever. You actually, unfortunately, have to keep revisiting the personnel tab to tell it to keep manually training more spies of a certain type. They'll show up over here in this list of your spies. And then agents in the field will be spies that you have that have infiltrated other factions, and it tells you which faction and which spy. Another neat thing about spies, which is not in, it's not out, the information is not available anywhere. You just sort of figure it out as you play. If you put spies into another race that is the same as yours or similar, your spies have a way better chance of succeeding whatever they do. It doesn't say it anywhere, at least not that I know of. But if you try to send spies into a race that is way different than yours, those spies will fail almost 100% of the time. It's sad. Now, in this particular save game here that I've started from the beginning, one of my closest neighbors is another Evon. So I can infiltrate their faction and steal all their technology quite easily. While another race on the other side of my area is an insectoid, and they never get through. My spies instantly get caught and get killed all the time trying to infiltrate them, even though their spy skills are not that great. But on the flip side, they have the same difficulty trying to get into my territory. So, but yeah, so we're kind of lucky on this one that we have an Evon very close to us, and once we make contact with them, some turns in, I dump all my spies into their territory and I just start stealing all their technology. It's kind of funny. Anyway, Foreign Office. Well, we don't have any contacts with anyone yet, and no Orion Senate, and we have no contacts yet. So planets. If you want to only see your planets in this list, you click owned planets. Just makes it simpler. Check the box for the planets that you own, and then once you do that, then you can double click on those planets, do all the changes and whatnot that you want. I'll do it now since I'm here. For my first planet, I always turn off Gift to Empire and turn off the AI, because I like to micromanage every single dollar until I get to a point where I don't need to micromanage it anymore. So I got nothing to build here, and I got this stuff to build here. So let's see, do I want colony ships? I think I do. Yeah, we'll build the colony ships first here. So I'll leave that alone. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna go to the shipyard as well and get rid of everything. All these other ships that are here by default, I don't need them. I obsolete mark all of them and hide them because I never want to look at them or use them. I'll keep the colony ship though, because I really can't build anything better. I could add a gun to it, but I don't really need to yet. Oh, I could. I mean, if I were to add a couple of small light lasers to the colony ship. I mean, if I did run into an enemy scout, I could. Yeah, screw it. Let's do that. Why not? Go to the current design. Change the engine to like 1,000. If you lower your thruster speed, it gives you more space. So right now I got 270. If I lower that, well, that didn't work. What was it at? Hold on, go back. Discard changes. What was it? Oh, system speed is 500 to start off. Wow. Okay. My bad. I thought it was at 1500. Anyway, I have a little bit of room, so I'm going to throw on a couple of light laser cannons. Just okay, 2. And there's only two. There's only a little bit of different. You're gonna spend a lot of time in the shipyard, believe me, customizing ships. So it's at 500 now. I'll change it to 480. Okay, a little more. 475. No. 470 didn't work either. Okay. 465. Okay, there. Now we can confirm this design. I've added 2 light lasers. Now I go to the current one and clear it, delete it. Go back to my planet. Remove these old ones. Why is it? It's not letting me. Oh, there we go. Then add the new ones. And I need to select. Now this is the big management part of the game, is the planets. Micromanaging each individual territory on each planet. It's time consuming, but I enjoy it, honestly. I love fiddling with these and changing them and tweaking them to make the planet more efficient. There's a lot to learn here. So each planet has like territories. Now you can, it's determined by the planet's size. So like right here, your starting planet is a size 6. What that means is that you will be able to place 12 structures on the planet. It's 2 for each planet size. This 3 right here is just representing a moon. It tells you that there's a moon there's a size 3 moon in this next to your planet. And that is important for building orbitals. So you get to have 3 orbitals for each planetoid in your system, or around your planet. So just as an example, we have size 6, planet size 6 is 1 planet and 1 moon, and each one can have 3 orbitals. So you are able to build 6 orbital defenses. Those are just defensive space stations. That's all they are. They're in the early game, they are pretty useless. So I don't build orbital defenses until much later, when I am able to build really powerful ones. Early on, they're just speed bumps. They're not even worth the resources. So, but this means that I can build 6 of them here. And that will be important in deciding which planet in a system you want to be the capital. So I'm going to go back out just to take a look at our system. So like this one has got 3 moons. These others have 1 moon or no moons. So you want your capital in a system to be a good sized planet with lots of moons, because the more moons means you can build more orbital defenses. Ideally, this one here would probably be is probably make a better capital. Oh, while I'm at it, Magnite civilizations. That's one of the specials that planets can have. When you're playing if you're playing it on a normal difficulty or easier difficulty, Magnite civilizations are helpful and useful. But when you're playing on impossible difficulty, they are a nuisance. And I'll try to explain why that is. If they different Magnite civilizations have different habitability settings. So, for example, to my race, this planet is yellow 1, barren and average and moderate gravity. But to the Agidar, this is probably a sweet spot planet. I can't see that, but to them it probably is. Now, if I were to colonize this planet and start migrating my people there until I gain control of the planet, the Agidar will still have the majority of the planet, majority population on the planet. And it makes it difficult for me to micromanage the DEA slots on a planet if I don't know which race is going to be there in the future, because the Agidar could completely repopulate up to 100% of the planet and pushing out my race, or my race might knock them down to 50%. I don't know, but it's a nuisance because I can't micromanage the DEAs because of it. I can't effectively, I don't know if they're generating food for, and then if I'm I might generate food on one DEA and it's controlled by the Agidar, and then later they get pushed out, taken over by mine, but it's not a good bio DEA for Evon, and then I suddenly have a wasted DEA. It's kind of hard to explain, but maybe you get it. Just on a possible difficulty, Magnite civilization's bad. Just remember that. Now, even though this is a pretty good starting position, area, this one Magnite civilization is going to be a nuisance to me. There's no way that I can push them off of this planet, at least not easily. What I can do, and which I hate doing, is I could have a non-aggression pact with someone, and that other race will come, and I could leave this uncolonized and let another faction come colonize it. And then once they colonize it, I just bomb the hell out of this planet and take it over for myself after wiping out the entire population. And then the Agidar will be gone. That's one way I could deal with it. I may do that. I may not. I don't know. In my test plays, I let them flourish, but they start spreading out amongst other planets in the area, in other systems, without any action on your part, which is another reason why they're annoying. They start populating other planets on their own without your consent. So that's another reason why I hate them. So anyway, get back to this here. Starting to ramble. Planetary infrastructure. Now, the usual ideal starting planetary infrastructure is to just, build 2 more mines, build more industry. So we have 4 mines, 4 industry, 1 government, 1 research. That's just, that's just the typical empire starting planet. So we got 3 colony ships. Okay, now as far as the money is concerned, in the beginning, I set it to maximum economic development. That's building these DEAs. Now, it only takes a couple of turns for them to get maxed out, and then you can switch it over to building 100% of it to building ships. All right, now the victory screen. Well, I guess I could. There isn't a whole lot here that I look at or care about or mess with. I'll say our empire rules of engagement with a selected empire. Well, I guess we don't have another empire that we have contact with, but if you did, you could mess with this. I guess I never do, but I mean I have messed with it before, but I never do it anymore. Well, I'll look at it again once we have contact with another. All right, these is just your own personal information, planets, power, ranking. Really, I don't even look at this stuff, to be honest. Somebody else might find it important. I don't. This is the Antaran X searching screen. If you have some ships you want to use to search for Antaran X's, you would come to the victory screen, status, and send out an expedition. Make sure it's an armada. So you want to have like around 18 ships available to throw away. Then you would click deploy expedition, and the ships would just disappear from your reserves and go hunting Antaran technology. And if they discover something, they'll bring it back, and then it'll show up over here. They're usually, I don't know how many different Antaran X's exist, how many that you could find, but I know there's more than 5. At least I'm pretty sure there's more than 5. It's kind of random what you find. Alright, I think, okay, I'm done with all that. Now, we need to start branching out here. I actually can't remember which way it is to the Evon, because I haven't played this save game in a while. But we're going to send out our 2 scouts to look. I'll leave the colony ship here for the moment, because I will I might drop it on one of these planets to start off, but I would rather send it to another system to colonize. So, oh yeah, there's a lot of information here that is useless. Green items are useless. Military constructions, built task forces, and migration, all useless information. I disable them from the sitrep screen. I keep these. These are the only ones that are important. Red items, yellow items, tech breakthroughs, and espionage. These other ones, unimportant. Exploration of Kled. Alright, now I understand. I think. Kled. I lost my bearing only because of the rotation. When I rotated everything around, I lost my bearing. But I think this was how I had it set up before. I think. I can't remember. But yeah, I can send my colony ship here. There we go. Hard Scrabble. Moderate, average, hard Scrabble. That's probably the best planet to start setting up the set up my system, government system. So we shall send the colony ship there. Bernard. Yes. I think. Oh, I remember now. I completely flipped it around. That's why I'm confused. This star was over here when I was playing before, because I had rotated the galaxy around in all different directions. I might just do that now. Flip it back all the way around the way that I had it before, just so I'm not confused. Yes, I believe it was about like that. Yeah, that looks more familiar to me now. Alright, because I know that there over here is a plan. This system here, I remember, is got a really good system to colonize early. I need to make sure that this exclamation mark here means that you have spent enough resources to complete whatever the current construction is. So I can put some points into my ship building until it stops, and then I have to go back to make sure that my economic structure is finished building. This is how I micromanage my planets in the beginning. Oh, I think I forgot. Yes, I did. I forgot to send my scout further on. And I actually don't want... I want my colony ships to go this way. I know there's a planet there that I need to colonize. And this planet also. I need to colonize right away. Otherwise, another race will take it. I might actually build a combat ship just to prevent other factions from exploring. I should do that. Frigate or destroyer? Let's do a destroyer. I like to do a variety of weapon ranges. Engines. I think I'll go put it down to 1,000 speed, so I have more space to add more weapons. And I definitely want missiles. Oh, perfect. Perfect. When I do missiles, I always do a rack size of 3. No more, no less. The reason for that is that 2 is too few for an extended battle, and any more than that is overkill. Because battles usually don't last much longer than that. And if you have more rack sizes, then they take up a lot more space. Just a simple name here. Now, the reason why I chose destroyer instead of cruiser is I think any planet can build those ships without the structures needed for that. See, now I've built all of my DEAs and I have no other things to build, so I'll put all my production into building ships now. And the ship's purpose is for colonizing and We'll just do one for now, one fighter ship that I'll send out to protect my borders and prevent any other factions from scouting my area. Illyrians. See, that's another magnet civilization that I don't want to mess with. Toxic, toxic, toxic. It's probably not toxic to them, but that's okay. I actually, since I played this start before, I already know, what my plan is here. So I will let an enemy faction take this planet. I'll colonize this one, but I won't colonize beyond it. I'll let them take these over, so that way I can destroy the Illyrians later on and take control of the planets without having to deal with the Magnite civilization. Just gonna change this view just a little bit more. Yes, that's more like what I remember. Alright, you shall now go check out that planet. And a little more. Check to see if, okay, that one's done. That one's ready to go. Let's deploy that one. Caitliff. That's where I need to put my border and stop them. Where's my colony ship? Okay, colony ship, you need to go there. And you need to go there. Okay. They're going there. Let's see here. Is it size 5, size 5, size 4? Well, this is the only one that's suitable for... Oh, wait, no, well, no, this one is too. Very rich. I think I might choose this one for the capital. I'll change it later. Later on, when I can terraform these bigger planets, I'll move the capital to one of them. But for the time being, this is the one I need to colonize first. Is that fighter done yet? Yes, it is. Short range attack detachment. Off you go. Let's say I have another colony ship being built. Yes. Probably should do another one. Or maybe another fighter. One ship is not enough to protect my border. It is initially, but they will start sending more ships to annoy me. So, and I'm going to go and build a system colony ship. I think I could do a smaller one. Frigate. Colony ships don't need thruster speed, so I can make a colony ship. What about a corvette? Too small. So it's got to be a frigate colony ship. So there we go. And I got one ship going to that one ship going to that one. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I guess I have something to develop here. Did I learn a new technology? No, I didn't. So I'm not sure why it just suddenly had something to build. But there it is. It'll get built. Okay, so this colony is. Oh, that's the fighter ship. Do I? Yeah, colony ship, scout, fighter. I need to send my fighter to that planet in order to prevent the AI from trying to colonize it. Oh. You know what? I'm going to intercept them with my scout. Make them run away. Our ships are identical, so just random luck to decide who wins. But hopefully I will win and push them away. Looks like I'm winning so far. Oh yeah, I never control combat. Never. I always let the computer handle combat. I watch it though. I like watching the space battles, especially when they get massive. All those pretty guns. A little boring when it's just a scout versus scout, but you know. Come on, y'all. Stay close to each other and fight. Looks like I may win. It could turn around though. If it does, well, I just hope my fighter ship can get there before their colony ship does. The AI is very quick to spread. If I'm not quick or quicker, they take over planets that I want. I can actually zoom in and actually look at the very fine details on these. Look at this. I can zoom in that close and see what their ships actually look like. And mine. You can see a lot more detail if it's bigger. These are just tiny little scout ships. But it's neat that you can actually zoom in that close to look at the fine details. This is an example of a battle that might take 10 minutes. Two scout ships with a light laser trying to kill each other. Well, looks pretty even. They might actually be ahead now. Why did I bother to watch this? I should have ceded control. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance I'd win. I guess I didn't need to watch this. Next time I'll skip it. I'm not even sure if these commands work because I chose to watch. I don't know. Let me see. I'm going to tell it to move over here. I don't know if that's going to do anything, but move here. Attack here. Attack there. Looks like if I press the letter A, I can... I don't even know if that did anything. It doesn't look like it. The ship's still doing circles. M for move. Yeah, I don't know how to control the ships even, really. I've always just enjoyed just watching the AI fight because it's always it's random, you know. And I like to observe how the AI fights, so that way I can build ships to counter what they do. And that's really the key to winning on the impossible difficulty. Also, is having ships that perfectly counter what the AI does. If you don't have that, you lose a lot of it, a lot of your ships, and you lose. Just lose. If you can't counter what they do, you lose. Fortunately, I played this game so much, I already know how the AI plays and how the AI builds their ships. So I already know how to counter them. We'll get into that later. Come on. Get in there and fight. Attack. Go attack them. Go, go. I don't think this does anything. Move over here. Can you move over here? I can tell them to retreat. That works. But I don't know about these other commands. Don't seem to do anything. Down to 3 minutes. Might be a draw. Come on. Come on. Enough with the dancing around. That's ridiculous. Come on, get close and fight. Let's get it over with. It's going to be a draw. They're not going to kill each other. Oh, maybe they will. I don't. Come on. Oh, it's gonna be close. Too close. Looks like I'm losing now. Please don't lose. I mean, it's a scout versus a scout, but believe me, this battle is crucial. If I can't beat them, they have the freedom to just walk right in, colonize anything they want. If I can't stop them here. If it's a draw, I don't know. if they can still get in. Oh no, no, they're gonna kill me. No. No, I lost. Crap. Ugh. Hopefully I can get my fighter ship up there in time to stop their colonization. I doubt it. There's my fighter. 7 turns. It's probably not going to happen. That scout probably has a colony ship following right behind it. Oh, frustrating. What do we got? Okay, building that. Are we still constructing something here? Something. What did we get? Oh, colony ship. You're going up. No. You're not going there. You are going to go here. I need to colonize that planet. Wait. Yeah, go in there. Alright, I got a colony ship here. Let's see which planet would be the best. It's gonna be that one. Or that one. Size 6, size 6. I mean, I could do this one, but the hostile fertility could slow down my population growth. I think subsistence is better than barren, so we'll go with that one. Great colony. What are we doing here now? Fighter. I think I'll build a system colony ship next so I can colonize one of my home planets. Oh, look, there we are. Just great. I'm going to intercept. I don't think this is a colony ship that has a gun on it. Crap. Which means they're gonna push me off. Nope, no guns. Damn. Oh, damn. Retreat. See how important that one battle? Yeah. Although they probably would have stopped me from colonizing anyway. Damn. Damn it, damn it. Losses like this on impossible difficulty are so painful. Well, at least I got that one colonized. Well, 3 turns till they get there. You got pushed back. Well, they don't have a colony ship here yet, but they're probably gunning for it. Going for that. Another fighter detachment, yes. I might just send that fighter up here in case they start to push too hard. Oh, so annoying that was. System colony. I think I might have to keep building fighter ships to keep the other enemies at bay. Stop them from getting in here. Right. Let's see. Hard Scrabble. Moderate, average. That's the one. That's my capital. Oh yes, I forgot. I got it. I sometimes I forget that a ship colonizes, and I forget that I have to go and set up how I want the planet to be divided up. And yeah, you know, you're not going to build that. All right. We're dividing up the DEA territories. Let's see here. What I do is I look down here to see what the mining efficiency and bioharvest efficiency of each single planetary DEA is, and then I can determine where to put all the different. See, that's 4. No, I hate it when I have like an arable section and it's got a high mining efficiency. I hate that. But I'll do this one. I might just go with only 2 mining slots and just have this one be. Yeah, I'll do 3 and have. We'll just do it as an industry to start with. Wait, that was 0.8. That was 0.8. 0.8. I don't know which one's going to be the better one, but I'll go industry on all of them. And then later on, once I have terraform a bit, I'll know which one to put a bioharvest DEA on. So in the meantime, they will rely on my home world's food supply. You want to put government buildings on a planet or on a DEA that is crap, the crappiest ones. Barren, toxic, whatever. Whenever you do set up a planet, you want to have at least 4 industry. You can get away with 3, but 4, 5, or 6 industry DEAs would be better. It helps when developing more colonies later, having extra money. And set migration. Got to make sure to always set migration on every planet. Now there's more planets here that I could colonize, but I need to get 1 in every system at least to start with. Short detachment, get up there quick. Colony ship, you need to get back there as quick as you can. Ugh. Cled. Now I could, this is just a tip, you could go to this planet by clicking here or here, but you won't be able to set migration. So in order to set the migration for a planet, you have to leave. You have to go to the system view. Can't do it here. That's why I don't ever click on these. I just remember which planet it was, and then I go here, so that way I can turn on migration. So, anyway. I might actually have them build system. Yeah, let me see. I could colonize that one and that one. All right. I will have them build 2 system colony ships in order to colonize those 2 planets. Good, we got some fertile territories here. I will be needing more food production, and that is the one. Eventually I will take this, I will come back here to customize this planet and take one of these bioharvests away because I'll be producing too much food. Yeah, I mean, later on when my planets are very well developed, I tend to go through my planet list like about once every 5 to 10 turns in order to double check how everything is doing and make adjustments, and also the build queues. So we got 4.0, 4.0, 4.0. 3 territories with 4.0 mining. It's better to make any of them that are greenish or brownish to be your industry DEAs, and any barren, toxic others to be mining. But if you do come across territories like this where it'd be both good as industry and mining, I usually just do one of each. I'll do like this one here. I'll do one mining, one industry, and I'll do the same thing on this other one. Right there. 1 mining and 1 industry. Now, you can get away with only like 1 mining DEA or 2 if it's a rich planet or very rich. But you must always have like at least 4 industry. Yes, industry for that one. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 industry. And I have 2 DEAs left in order to do government buildings. This one I'm not going to do. I'm not going to add. I'm not going to do recreation and military on this planet. I'll just do the government building, and then I'll add. More industry. 1, 2, 3, 4 industry. Yeah, let's do 2 more industries. Make it 6. I would like to do research. Oh wait, no, I did get a research one. Okay, yeah, we're good. So later, when I colonize one of these other planets in the system, so for example, this one right here is the one I'd rather be the capital because it's bigger. But because of the high gravity, and these 2 bad specials, it would be a really slow to progress planet until I can terraform it. Once I got basic terraforming, then I will move the capital to this planet. So we can colonize those 2. I think I already said I already did that. 2 system colonies, which I will come back and check on them later. Still no contact. Oh, need to build more spies. Dromos. Now, from what I remember, I believe this planet here is protected by a guardian. I think, or one of the planets connected to that one. I'm gonna go check out this planet first, and then maybe I'll come back to visit that one, because I think that one's a guardian and it'll just destroy my scout. What do we got here? Colony is going there, huh? Well, I don't need that going there. Can I colonize this one? Toxic. Oh, well. Come back to it. This will be pushing it. I could send the colony ship here. It's yellow 1, hostile. I need more good solid planets to draw population from before I try colonizing that one. I could do this one. It's an arable sweet spot. I could easily colonize this one. And I think I will colonize that one. So, clear the AI orders. You go down there. Let's see here. What do we got here? That colony's going there. They're coming. They're reconning. And that one's going there. And that colony... Okay, never mind. We are going to colonize that one first. And then the next colony ship I'll send down there. And where are we on these? Building a fighter. Yeah. I'm going to build another colony ship after that one. Huh. Yeah, they're going to actually bombard my planet with a scout. Brilliant. Where are you? There. I'm going to send them to that planet. Since this is my fighter detachment, I'm going to go right there to get rid of them jerks. Fighter. Nope, still not built. So anyway, this is a lot of this is a lot of micromanaging at this point. But I think I've covered enough basics in this video to help anyone understand how the game works and how to get started. And right. All right. Well, I will record more of this game, going even further, and showing you how to survive the onslaught of the impossible AI in the next videos. If you've gotten this far, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something. Hopefully you appreciate this version of the game more. It's a pretty complicated game. There's a lot going on. But, you know, if you're that kind of person, then you definitely would enjoy this game, like I do.